Guys fucking fade me. If you fade me, you're making a shit ton of money. Think I'm gonna quit the way I'm doing this shit? No fucking way.
Play action fakes it for pass in zone. Yes, touchdown.
You're assholes. Hi, and welcome to Geno's Picks, which have been getting as close to hilarious each week as they've been getting far from accurate. Of course, if you've been fading me the past 3 weeks, like my boy Ray, then I'm thrilled to tell you you've gone 4-11 over the past 3 weeks. As I have always said, I'm absolutely thrilled for you. My fucking laptop, you buy a laptop that has numbers on the fucking side, but the number lock isn't on. So then you hit the number and it just bounces the cursor all around and you gotta read a thing that one part you didn't fucking proofread. Nevertheless, the reality of it is that Geno's Picks had a woeful week 9 to fall to 20-25 on the season and dropped to 44% against the spread. But that doesn't mean Daddy can't bounce back with a perfect week 10. I mean, I'm already having a great week after roasting MLB legend Lenny Dykstra on Zoom. That's what my life has become. You remember Lenny. He's the former Mets player that famously lost his teeth in a Jersey Mike's dumpster, which is odd given that Mets fans in Jersey usually lose their teeth at a Phillies game. There you go. That was from the Zoom. It was pretty good. Yeah, I like that joke so much I brought it back for the video. Now let's get to some picks that I hope will put a grin on your face with its actual teeth. All right. My first pick, the Washington football team is getting 4.5 from the Lions in Detroit. They may have buried the team named the Redskins, but at this point, I'm not sure this team isn't playing on an ancient Native American fucking burial ground, because the position of quarterback on the team formerly known as the Redskins is cursed. Case in point, meet the new starter. Same as the old starter, Alex Smith, who missed all of last season while rehabbing his leg after a gruesome injury. But the reason he won the job back was he came in for the team's current starter, Kyle Allen, and won that back because, yeah, you guessed it, he left the game with a gruesome ankle dislocation. Fitting this tame blaze in D.C. because at this point, the only thing less likely to come together than the opposing parties there are the bones in the leg of a Washington starting QB. Regardless, Smith nearly brought back the Redskins from a 20-3 second-half deficit, going 24-32 for 325 yards and a TD. Let's see how he does when he comes into a game where he isn't facing a hole of 20 or more. Fucking Steve woke up facing a hole of slightly over 20. It's a whole nother thing. Oh, and if you're wondering where Dwayne Haskins is during all this, the move to name Smith the starter came literally 2 days after head coach Ron Rivera said just this week he hadn't given up on last year's first-round pick. Yes, he has. Haskins is on the bench since week 5 because unlike Smith and Allen, the real tragedy is watching this guy play healthy. Smith is actually a solid leader and knows how to win meaningless games and keep the other ones close, so take the skins and the points here. My next pick, the Raiders are laying 4.5 to the Broncos in Vegas in what is an incredibly overlooked stat. Broncos running back Philip Lindsay, an undrafted kid out of Colorado, quietly made NFL history earlier this month when he became the first ever NFL running back to carry the ball 450 times without fumbling once. Of course, who fucking has time to fumble when you're getting the piss beat out of you and you're getting it about 6 times a game because you're a terrible team and you're passing the ball down by 30. I'll tell you who has time to fumble. Melvin fucking Gordon, the ex-Charger piece of shit that he has to split carries with. And Melvin Gordon, meanwhile, earns $7 million a year while Lindsay gets 1/10, $750,000. Meanwhile, fucking Gordon has fumbled the ball 3 times already this season. Couple that with the fact that Lindsay's averaging 7 yards a carry to Gordon's 4, and it's pretty obvious the Broncos are as careless with their money as Gordon is with a football. Why am I telling you this? Because that is who John Elway went out and got in the offseason, Melvin Gordon. Instead of looking for a QB to replace fucking Drew Luck, who's about as accurate as a presidential election poll. Meanwhile, the Raiders keep adding pieces that make them better, and they're going from facing a golden-armed QB in Justin Herbert to the absolute lead balloon that is Luck. Take the Raiders and lay the points. My next pick, the Seahawks. Yeah, I won't quit on them. They're getting 1 to hook from the Rams in L.A., and what is an absolute stint. They're still not allowing fans into the beautiful stadium in L.A. that is SoFi. But regardless, because of the fraud that is the coronavirus, no one will be there to watch this. But I'll tell you one fraud that will be in the stadium this Sunday, the L.A. fucking Rams. I'm sorry, but a team with 4 wins against the NFC East does not impress me, nor does their only other win against the division opponent Niners, who have completely gone south with injuries to every starter, as just about every offensive position with the emphasis on star is on the IR. Garoppolo, Mostert, Samuel, Kittle, Nick Bosa. Jesus, the Niners RI. spelling. IR reads like a Pro Bowl ballot. Sure, they get to face a Seattle defense that's about as likely to slow you down as COVID, but the thing the Seahawks have in Seattle is a phrase this year that says, let Russ cook. Have you heard that? Let Russ cook. That means set him loose early. But Sunday won't be as much about letting Russ cook as it was about watching Russ stew the past 6 days after an embarrassing loss to the Bills. And that's all the seasoning you need to know. That is the fact that Wilson rarely loses back-to-back games. Take the Seahawks and lay the points. Oh, excuse me, the points you're getting. I just fucking jinxed that fucking bet. That bet just went from fucking lock it up to the absolute bet the fucking Seahawks. Which brings into my... You got to be big and sharp to fucking get this one right. Monday Night Football pick. The Vikings are giving 3 to the Bears in Chicago. Speaking of things that cook. Dalvin Cook has been the recipe for success for his quarterback, Kirk Cousins. Cousins has not turned the ball over in 2 straight games now, thanks to the fact that when he looks downfield, he sees barely any opposing jersey because they're all stacking the box up front, trying to stop fucking Dalvin Cook, who's been amazing. In the past 2 weeks, he's had 478 yards from scrimmage. He's had 6 TDs, and despite all that, he didn't look the least bit tired in the fourth quarter of last week's win against the Lions when he ran 70 yards for a touchdown. But that was against a Lions team that totally reps the city of Detroit, because they've completely quit. Fucking, it's not the Bears or the city of Chicago that's going to spell doom for the Vikes, as much as the fact that the entire nation will be watching on Monday Night Football, where Kirk Cousins is a perfect 0-9. Yes, to quote Mr. Burns when he pinch hit for Darryl Strawberry with the right-handed batting Homer Simpson in the company softball game, it's called playing the percentages, Smithers. And when you realize you have a 0.04% chance, better chance of dying from COVID than Kirk Cousins fucking your bet over, well, unlike the COVID vaccine, this is a shot I'm willing to take. Not to mention the Bears' hard-nosed defense is going to take Cook out of this game. And without a great Cook, they will be feasting on the leftovers that are Kirk Cousins. Daddy's taking the Bears. Those are Geno's picks. Let the balls come in and do his show now.